At first glance, you'd never know this vehicle has already travelled over 1 million kilometres as a diesel truck. But $150,000 later, everything has changed. The 5-year-old diesel engine, gone. In its place, a new electric motor and an interchangeable battery system.
So without the diesel, we don't have any of the drones or the motor. We're a nice quiet cab. Downside is we do hear all the little squeaks and rattles in the dash. But all in all, it's a very pleasant drive for the operator.
This is the start of a new era in Australia's trucking industry, one that's finally breaking free from its addiction to diesel. An hour north of Sydney, Janus Electric is leading the charge. Founded 4 years ago, their mission is bold: electrify the world's trucking industry in a sustainable way by converting existing diesel trucks into electric.
Ta-da! The idea of the swappable battery is that the truck doesn't need to stay still for very long. So a truck can pull into a charging station, swap the batteries and be on the road again within 3 or 4 minutes. So it's good for the trucking company because they don't need to pay the driver to sit still while the truck's on charge for 2 to 3 hours. It's good from a real estate point of view because you don't have these big vehicles sitting still for 2 to 3 hours. And it's also good for the batteries. So all of our batteries are charged slowly, which means they don't degrade, they last longer, they're preserved.
Since Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz disrupted global energy flows and sent fuel prices soaring, Hutt reports a surge in interest from customers and investors alike.
Yeah, so the current fuel crisis has been very good for us, and we've seen a massive uptick in interest from governments around the world, from customers around the world, and from customers here in Australia. So it's been really good from that perspective. And the economics of running an electric truck were beneficial before the fuel crisis, but now it's obviously 1 million times cheaper to run an electric truck than a diesel truck.
Australia is one of the biggest consumers of diesel per capita in the world, importing about 80% of its liquid fuels. Much of that powers the road freight industry, diesel trucks transporting raw materials and goods across vast distances in this sparsely populated country. The industry is on track to become the highest emitting sector in the economy within just 2 years. It's considered one of the hardest to decarbonise. While electric cars have exploded in popularity, electric trucks have faced obstacles: high upfront costs, limited charging infrastructure, and doubts about whether the technology can handle the loads and distances required. But recent diesel prices, surging past $3 per litre, have changed the equation entirely. Janus Electric's swappable battery system means trucks can be back on the road within minutes. They've already delivered this technology to the United States and Canada, with active discussions underway in the UK, India, and South Africa. Daniel Bleakley, co-CEO of New Energy Transport, says his electric trucking company has also received a wave of inquiries since the fuel crisis began.
Electric heavy road freight is possible today, and not only is it possible, it's capable of operating at a lower cost than diesel freight, and it's capable of higher productivity than diesel freight as well. So in addition to these two major economic factors, it also enables us to decouple our road freight system from volatile global oil markets and essentially onshore our transport energy production here in Australia.
In late March, New Energy Transport completed the country's first end-to-end electric delivery between Sydney and Canberra. The results? An 84% reduction in energy costs and 25 minutes faster than a diesel prime mover on the same route. Why? Electric trucks maintain their speed uphill, unlike their diesel counterparts. The government has recently approved a New Energy Transport's plan to build the country's largest heavy electric truck depot as one of 4 fast-track projects, recognising the need for sovereign capability amid supply chain disruptions. But not everyone thinks that the electric truck revolution is such a good idea. Professor John Rose from University of Sydney's Institute of Transport details some negatives of electric when compared to using diesel as the primary source of fuel.
You've got infrastructure problems. How do you charge the vehicles? Is the national grid actually up to being able to charge these vehicles? The other thing is that you've got to realise with these battery packs, they weigh a lot. And so the more weight of the battery packs, the less you can actually carry on those trucks. And so you've got like an economic efficiency problem in terms of you've got much cheaper to use, but you can't carry as much.
But Professor Rose is still optimistic that electric trucks will still have a place in society in the near future.
My prediction of what's going to happen is in the city in the next decade or so, we will have mostly electric vehicle trucks, at least the new vehicles that are being purchased. I think in the regions you're going to have that mixture. So in the regions you're going to have a mixture of diesel and electric vehicles and maybe other technology like hydrogen or something like that. It's the long haul trucks where I think it's going to be many, many years before we actually start to see that become economical